consideration, and I can show you I have done so, free of any interference, this judgment or sentence is the sentence of this court and this court alone. In respect of count 1, you are sentenced to a period of 5 years imprisonment. In respect of count 2, you are sentenced to a period of 2 years imprisonment. In respect of count 3, you are sentenced to 20,000 rand or to undergo 6 months imprisonment. In respect of count 4, you are sentenced to 20,000 rand or to undergo 6 months imprisonment. In respect of count 5, you are sentenced to pay a fine of 20,000 rand or to undergo 6 months imprisonment. In terms of section 280, subsection 2 of Act 51 of 1977, the court orders that the sentence imposed in respect of counts 2, 3, 4, and 5 run concurrent with the sentence imposed in respect of count 1.
Is the court pleased?
You may be seated. Thank you.
The leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, has been sentenced to 15 years imprisonment following a lengthy trial stemming from his 2018 firearm discharge at a political rally. The judgment was handed down by Toinette Olivia at the East London Regional Court in Kukombo City, Eastern Cape, on Thursday, 16 April 2026, bringing to a close a case that has drawn national attention for several years. Malema, the leader of the EFF, was convicted on multiple charges, including unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, discharging a firearm in a public space, and reckless endangerment. The charges relate to an incident during the party's 5th anniversary celebrations at Sisadugashe Stadium on 28 July 2018, where he was captured on a video firing what appeared to be a rifle before a large crowd. In her ruling, Olivia outlined separate penalties for each count: 5 years imprisonment for the primary charge, 2 years for a second count, fines of 20,000 rand, 6 months imprisonment for each of the remaining 3 counts. However, the court ordered that sentences for counts 2 to 5 run concurrently with the 5-year sentence under count 1, in line with section 280 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Malema was also declared unfit to possess a firearm. His legal team has indicated plans to appeal both the conviction and the sentence. Delivering her judgment, Olivia rejected the defense's argument that the shooting was a harmless celebratory act, describing it instead as deliberate and planned, and said that the evidence before this court shows that the act was premeditated rather than impulsive, noting that the planning included access to a semi-automatic rifle and the firing of a 223 Remington round in a density populated area. She dismissed attempts to characterize the incident as a symbolic or festive, calling such arguments a sugarcoating of serious criminal conduct, and said, how can a court conclude there was no intention when the actions themselves clearly demonstrate otherwise? The magistrate also reflected on the broader consequences of the protracted proceedings, describing the case as resource-intensive and burdensome on the justice system. She pointed out that the time and manpower dedicated to the trial had limited access to court services for ordinary citizens, and said members of the public were unable to access essential services from maintenance claims to guardianship applications, and that is deeply concerning. Addressing the political sensitivity of the case, Olivia stressed the independence of judiciary, emphasizing that the ruling was based solely on the law and evidence, and said this court is not concerned with political affiliations. It is an individual, not a political party, who stands convicted. She added that neither Malema's status nor political influence could shield him from accountability, and said the judiciary will not be intimidated by political rhetoric. There is no room for politics in a court of law dealing with criminal offences. During sentencing proceedings, Malema's legal team, including advocates Tembeka, Toby and Lawrence Hodges argued for a non-custodial sentence, citing the absence of injuries or damage resulting from the incident. They also questioned the state's reliance on Malema's political stature as an aggravating factor, arguing that such considerations must be applied consistently. Hodges stated that to impose the imprisonment for a single incident of this nature would be disproportionate. The defense further highlighted that this was Malema's first offense and presented a pre-sentencing report in support of a lesser sentence, while acknowledging mitigating factors including Malema's lack of prior convictions and potential impact on his career and family. Oliver maintained that seriousness of the offense warranted a custodial sentence and said loss of employment is an inevitable consequence of a criminal conduct. Ultimately, the court found that the nature of the act, particularly its public setting and potential risk to lives, outweighed arguments for leniency. The case now moves to the appeals process where Malema's legal team is expected to challenge both the conviction and the severity of the sentence. Meanwhile, Malema yesterday told supporters outside the East London Magistrate Court that efforts to imprison him were part of a broader attempt by Capital to silence radical voices in South Africa. He said his vision of economic freedom will not be silenced, even if he were to be jailed. Malema was addressing scores of the EFF supporters after the first day of sentencing proceedings, during which the state and defense presented their arguments. He said, "When we grow up, persecution has always been part of our lives. Capital wants to use us to silence the dejected masses of our people. We know what is at play. We are not in doubt that Capital has a central role in trying to silence the radical voice in South Africa. They use us to show that whoever dares to speak truth to power must be jailed. We shall not be silenced under any circumstances. They can imprison me, but they will never imprison my ideas. They will never suppress the idea of economic freedom in our lifetime." Scores of EFF supporters and Malema backers turned the street of Kukompo City red as they gathered ahead of his sentencing on Thursday. Party members gathered outside the court singing and chanting the controversial "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer" slogan after marching from Jan Smuts Stadium, where they held a night vigil on Tuesday ahead of the court's proceedings.
To regard AfriForum as a political adversary and to criticize it for an unfair prosecution because he believes that they are behind his prosecution. What you cannot do, you cannot take that political statement by Mr. Malema and take it to account in sentencing.
I hear you fully.
Yes, thank you, Malik. Then they are also complaining that he has complained of racism. Why is the state complaining that Mr. Malema is complaining of racism when he's a victim of racism?
What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.